start.
What's going on with you? Oh, Shane, you go outside? Because I need the big girl pillows. I can't do the big musky.
Lock it in. Sister? Neighbor girl. Neighbor girl. Genesis. Wow. You see it, huh?
Okay, I'll take that.
I'm at work all week. About my phone and everything. Wondering why? Wondering why, huh? Yeah. I was looking at you, baby. Well, she didn't find my home, so I was looking not today. No ma'am, no ma'am, no ma'am. Not necessary at all. No ma'am. Look, I was like my car break you first, but no, that ain't gonna happen, all right? So no, we good shit. Not at all. Sis, what's happening?
So what you want to call me? What's going on? How Hey, got my wedges on. Got my wedges on.
Three's team take the stage.
Yeah, we need to stop like
He's supposed to be trying to tell me how to tie. He ain't showing how to tie. Look, pretty simple. And why ain't how come I don't know this?
Yes, honey. I got the royalty. You come like the CIA. Huh? You come in presidential. Like you come this bodyguard. Either one of you two.
I didn't leave out my Pluto. Flo, it was on the beat.
Make sure you get them.
She threw it away from my house. Flo, what's happening, brother? Flo, this is not here. I mean, he was here. The horn is here. What are we doing? Independent rap. Oh. I was not surprised. You talk a lot about Manny.
That's the reason. That's the reason. We're gonna try to make sure you don't need that 47. That's the thing, it ain't even fake. That testimonial has been there last week about the job and that kind of stuff. That's what he does. That's the beauty of it. Trust y'all. He'll show you can change It's all opportunity. And I was
Gotta get low on me.
Sammy!
No. I'm thinking like, no, you know we got speaking next week. Yes. It's fasting.
Okay.
So I'm working by the end of the day, I'm gonna tell you a time and who you're talking about. Yeah, we're gonna cover all fasting related people and stuff. So it'll be 30 minutes. Somebody get Moses, somebody get Hadassah, somebody, all of that. David, everybody who did some fasting stuff. Somebody.
Some fasting stuff. I'm about to say. Gotcha.
Okay, so yeah. I'm gonna go to that. But if I can get there, okay? You know, because evidently you okay with whoever. Okay, all right. But if I can get there, I'm gonna hook you up. Okay. No. I'm working. Learning to take on time. Just fasting related people. That's all right. No, we're starting 6 that morning. Ish.
I gotta watch that. That's how
And then yes, sir. I'm telling you no further down the road.
Sorry not to offend you. I know, I got
Praise team, please.
Hey, gorgeous. Hey, honey. You didn't ask me about the candles. Girl, look.
So you can maintain
no, ma'am. At all.
Did you bring any mic? I'm gonna get it. Does she have one?
Hallelujah.
Bless his name, Father. Give him praise. Come on, Shane. Open us up, man.
Talahim 100. Mizmor Latoda. Harau le Yahweh Kol Haaretz. Ebduet Yahweh Basamka. Bo'u la Peniu Bernana. Deuki Yahweh Hu Elohim. Hu Asanu Velo Anahu. Emo Visan Marito. Bo'u Sarau Batoda. Kusarau Batala. Hu Dolo Baruto Shemo. Kito Yahweh Loom Kasadu. Va'ad Vadar Amanuto. A medley of thanksgiving, Psalms 100. Raise a loud shout towards Yah all the earth. Serve Yah in gladness. Come before his face and singing. Know that Yah, he is Elohim. It is he that has created us, and not we ourselves. We are his people and the sheep of his pasture. Enter into his gates with thanksgiving. Let's enter his courts with praise. Give thanks to him and bless his name. For Yah is those. His mercy is everlasting, and his truth will endure to all our generations. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
I love you,
Thank you,
God.
Father.
And I lift my voice to worship you. Oh, my soul rejoice. I heard somebody say, take joy, my King, in what you hear. He wants to hear from us. And let it be a sweet, sweet sound in your ear. I love you. Jesus.
Glory.
Thank you, thank you. Come on, y'all sing condos.
Bless his name. Bless his name.
Hallelujah. Praise is what we do. Praise is who we are. Hallelujah. Praise is what we do. And praise is who we are. 6 days man does what he does. But on the 7th day, we've been commanded to pause and give him the praise. We praise him in the morning. We praise him at midday. We praise him in the evening. We praise him while we still have a chance. Praise is what we do. Praise is who we are. Praise. Don't say glory to his name. Glory to his name. Glory to his name while we still have a chance. Hallelujah. Let it be sweet, sweet, sweet. Oh, yes. Let's give them a couple rounds. Meditation moment, hallelujah. Remember that climb up into the third heaven. The ladder is going up right now. You don't have to get on the ladder, but the ladder is going up. Passing the first heaven, clouds cannot stop us. Oh, I see the sun and the moon and the stars, but yet we're still climbing right now. The Apostle Paul says, I think I was there. I think I actually went up. And I saw the angels and the beast and the creatures. They were bowing and giving praise to the throne. Have you been before the throne saints? Were you on Golgotha's hill, saints? This is a moment and an opportunity. It doesn't always come, but it's here right now.
Right now. Right now. Right now.
Don't let it pass you by. Father has decided to show up in our midst and to present himself. And he is holy. And he will not share his being with anything unrighteous. Glorify him. Magnify his name. Exalt him with all your being. Lift up your voice. Lift up your hands. Lift up your hearts. Lift up your minds and know that he chose you to experience what eyes have not seen. Ears have not heard right now what we're feeling, what we're sensing. Where you stand and sit is holy ground right now. Hallelujah, Father. Carnal man cannot visit where we are. But he says, worship him in spirit and in truth. Father, right now, Father, we say thank you. Torah, Father, if none of us should make it to see tomorrow, Father, thank you for taking us to the mountaintop today. Father, thank you for allowing us to see over today. Father. For many, Father, have desired to see and to feel and to know and to receive the word that you've given to us, Father. Help us, O Heavenly Father, to count it all joy. Father, thank you for everyone in this room. Thank you for everyone in the sound of my voice. Thank you for all the households represented here. Thank you for this body of faith. Thank you for the children, Father. Thank you for our drummer, Father, who has praise on this mountain, Father. Thank you, Father. Father, when the woman that you sent this morning, Father, the stranger that you sent to say that she was cold and needed some clothes and some food and just anything that we had, just a little money to go stay at the shelter, Father. I said, I'll get you what I can, but we don't just have cash laying around here. But that young drummer said, I have some money that I can give you. Father, I say thank you, because you're doing something, Father, in this room. Hallelujah, Father. I pray, Father, that we pass your test this morning, Father. I pray that we met you in your commandments this morning, Father. And Father, we've got more work to do. Please, Father, please, give us another opportunity. But Father, we say thank you for what we've done. Thank you for what you're doing in our lives. And we say glory to your name, Father. Thank you for showing up, Father. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Father. Oh, Father, just thank you with a million tongues. Thank you. It's a beautiful day, Father. We say, turn up. You sit high, you sit low, and you are the King of this day, Father. And we will not deprive you of your glory. For you are worthy, and your name alone is excellent. The power of Almighty Yah within us, hallelujah, Father. We glorify your name. We magnify your existence, Father, and we declare that you are our Lord. We serve a true and living God, and beside thee there is none other. So, Father, today, Father, we will praise you while we can, because praise is what we do. And as the testimony of your praise, praise is who we are. Hallelujah, Father. Praise is what we do. We need you this morning, Father. We're going to get on to our Torah reading this morning. Hallelujah. As the Torah reading comes forth, always know that we come here to receive what Father has for us. And we must praise Him while we can. Always remember. And we bless His name. Hallelujah. Brother Peter, hallelujah. Let's go ahead and go forward with our Torah reading for this morning. Hallelujah.
Thank you, Father. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Thank you for the Shabbat. Thank you for the holy convocation, Father. Thank you for all that you've done for us this morning.
my goodness.
We will rejoice in this day, the day that you have made, Father. We just want to lift up your holy name.
Yes.
We just want to praise you. Our Torah readings coming from chapter 39. Chapter 39, Holy Scriptures. Beginning at verse 1. Let us begin. And Joseph was brought down to Egypt, and Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, captain of the guard, an Egyptian, brought him out the hands of the Ishmaelites, which had brought him down thither. And Yah was with Joseph, and he was a prosperous man, and he was in the house of his master the Egyptian. And his master saw that Yah was with him, and that Yah made all that he did to prosper in his hand. And Joseph found grace in his sight, and he served him, and he made him overseer over his house, and all that he had he put into his hand. And it came to pass from the time that he had made him overseer in his house, and over all that he had, that Yah blessed his house for Joseph's sake. And blessing of Yah was upon all that he had in the house and in the field. And he left all that he had in Joseph's hand, and he knew not aught he had, save the bread which he did eat. And Joseph was a godly person and well favored. And it came to pass after these things that his master's wife cast her eyes upon Joseph and said, Lie with me. But he refused and said unto his master's wife, Behold, my master ought not that me in the house, and he had committed all that he had to my hands. There is none greater in this house than I, neither had he kept back anything from me. Thou art his wife. How then can I do this great wickedness and sin against Yah? And it came to pass, as she spake to Joseph day by day, that he hearkened not unto her to lie by her, or to be with her. And it came to pass about this time that Joseph went into the house to do his business, and there was none of the men of the house there within. And she caught him by his garments, saying, Lie with me. And he left his garments in her hand, and fled, and got him out. And it came to pass, when she saw that he had left his garments in her hand, and was fled forth, that she called unto the men of the house, and spake unto them, saying, See, he hath brought in a Hebrew unto us to mock us. He came in unto me to lie with me, and I cried with a loud voice. And it came to pass, when he heard that I lifted up my voice and cried, that he left his garments with me, and fled, and got him out. And she laid up his garments by her until his Lord came home. And she spake unto him according to these words, saying, The Hebrew servant which thou hast brought unto us came in unto me to mock me. And it came to pass, as I lifted up my voice and cried, that he left his garments with me and fled out. And it came to pass, when his master heard the words of his wife, which she spake unto him, saying, After this manner did thy servant to me, that his wrath was kindled. And Joseph's master took him and put him into the prison, a place where the king's prisoners were bound. And he was there in the prison. But Yah was with Joseph, and showed him mercy, and gave him favor in the sight of the keeper of the prison. And the keeper of the prison committed to Joseph's hand all the prisoners that were in the prison. And whosoever they did there, he was the doer of it. The keeper of the prison looked not to anything that was under his hand, because Yah was with him. And that which he did, Yah made it to prosper. Hallelujah.
All these words say unto me, I am Yah, thy Elohim, and brought thee out of the house of bondage.
And the music.
And of bondage.
Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the waters under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, Yah, thy Elohim, am a jealous hell, visiting the iniquities of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of Yah, thy Elohim, in vain, for Yah will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of Yah, thy Elohim. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy sons, nor thy daughters, thy manservants, nor thy maidservants, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days Yah made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore Yah blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which Yah, thy Elohim, giveth thee. Thou shalt not murder. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservants, nor his maidservants, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. According to James 2:10-12. For whosoever shall keep the whole law, and yet offend in one point, he is guilty of all. For he that said, do not commit adultery, said also, do not murder. Now if thou commit no adultery, yet if thou murder, thou art become a transgressor of the law. So speak ye, and so do, as they that shall be judged by the law of liberty. Hallelujah.
Bless his name. Draw ourselves in. Prayer.
Thank you for waking us up this morning. Watching over us while we slumber. Yes. Father, thank you for your traveling grace this morning. Thank you for allowing us to be here to celebrate your holy Shabbat. One more time, Father. Thank you, Father. Father, thank you for all my family assembled here today. Please continue watching over us, Father. Father, we know that we're not worthy. We know we're nothing but filthy rags, Father. But you show us favor and grace every single day. Thank you, Father. Thank you for your grace. Father, please watch over this house. Thank you for the pastor here and the ministry. Father, please continue in guiding them so that they help guide us down this narrow path. Father, thank you for all the members assembled here and those who couldn't be here today. Thank you, Father. Father, I'm asking you to please help us to be mindful. Continue to pray. That's right. We want to worship you, Father. We want to give you all the praise and the glory that you so deserve. You deserve all the honor this morning, Father. Father, please bless those who are sick and not able to be with us today. That's right. Father, please. Your commandments, your law. Yes. But we know, Father, that the promise is behind it. Thank you for your darling son. He died for us. I just want to thank you, Father. I'm so grateful today. Father, please keep touching us. Father, I'm asking you to please bless our children today. Yes. Watch over us. Not just our children here today, Father, but all the children. Yes. Evil. Come on. Some evil beings out here today. Please, Father, I'm asking you to wrap your loving arms of comfort, your loving arms of mercy around our children. Please protect our children today, Father.
Right now, Father.
Hallelujah. Yes.
Right now, Father.
Thank you. Thank you.
Say his name, yeah.
That's right.
On your name.
Please, Father, look down upon us today.
Right now, Father, we need you.
We ask you to please continue blessing us as we do your work, your will, Father.
Right now,
Father, thank you.
Thank you, Father. Thank you.
Father. You're not worthy, Father. Thank you for your mercy. Thank you for your grace. Thank you. Father, we know you won't forsake us. Father, bless all the families here. Keep watch over your church, Father.
shalom and have peace to all. Shabbat shalom and have peace to all. So what we'll do this week is rehearse the Ronnie blessing. We'll try to keep that song on the Ronnie blessing that we had previously, and then Shane will introduce some new information for today, going along with Yeshua's prayer. So we'll continue with that as well. So Yevarekeka, Yevarekeka, Yahweh, Yahweh, Beishmereka, Beishmereka, Yahweh, 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 Panaveleka, Panaveleka, Vikumeka, Vikumeka, face upon you.
So again, we're learning the new thing for today is, again, we're continuing with Yeshua's prayer from Matthew 6, verses 9 through 13. Today we'll go over verse 11, which is give us this day our daily bread. Shane will elaborate on it. The next week we'll add it to the song that we started learning last week, or a couple weeks ago. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Okay, so we're going to get through this prayer, and then we're going to scale it back a whole bunch, all right? We're going to go back to the building block, the elevator. But I think we'll be okay today. So today's part of the prayer is our custom, give bread to us this day. Or commonly translated as give us this day our daily bread. Okay? So, this verse is a little confusing for me because I'm used to the Hebrew grammar structure being the verb then the noun, which is the norms. But in this case, it's the format is a little different. So this is the term et. Okay, just a quick side note. A lot of people say that Yeshua is in the first verse of the Bible. Bereshit, bara, Elohim, et Shamayim, et Eretz. So in the beginning case, so they refer to Yeshua said he's the Aleph and the Tav. So that word et is what a lot of people kind of say that's what Yeshua is in the first verse. But this is actually just a piece of grammar. So this et identifies the object of the verb. So whatever follows the word et identifies the object of the verb, okay? So the object of the verb is lakam, bread. Lakam means bread. All right, bet lakam. Bet is a house, the second letter of the alphabet, house, and of bread, where Yeshua is from, the house of bread. Bet lakam, okay? Or Bethlehem. That is where Yeshua is from. Okay, it's okay. All right, so bread. So bread is the object of the verb. So this is not the verb. This is the noun. Okay? So what does the suffix nu mean? Us. Us, ours. So we're going to see this twice. So this is our, and this is the root of the word cook. The ket and the kaf. So this means custom or our practice or our devotion. What we do on a regular basis is our custom. The Shabbat is a custom, is a cook. Okay? So our custom, now this is the verb. Natan, which is the noon drops. Just the word time, to give. Okay? So what are we giving? The object of the verb? Bread. All right, so we're asking the Father to give us bread as our custom. Okay? All right, okay. And there's one, so we see the new here. We see the new a lot of times throughout this verse, throughout this prayer, because it's referring, Yeshua is teaching us. So this is a congregational, this is a family. It's a multiple person prayer. Because you say, Avinu, our Father. Okay, so our custom, and then so this is our custom, give bread. All right. Yes, ma'am. Okay, so this is the term lanu. So this word lamed, this prefix lamed, the L, means as a prefix to, and the suffix nu. Come on now. So give to us. All right, so this is Hayom. All right, Yom Teruah, Yom Kippur. What does Yom mean? Day of affliction, day of blowing. So Yom, and this is the prefix Ha, which means the day, but we can translate it as this day in this context. So, give us as our custom, give bread to us this day. Hallelujah.
Bless his name. Hallelujah. Father, please continue to give us our daily bread. Do you feel like you got your daily bread today? Hallelujah. Do you feel like Father gave you your portion today? I pray that you receive your portion. Hallelujah. Let's give Father a hand clap right now just for allowing us to be able to praise and worship him in spirit and in truth. Like the song last week, free to worship. Isn't that a wonderful thing? To be free to worship. Free to praise. Free to bow down. That's There are some countries where you can't do those things.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, again, you literally cannot. You would be imprisoned for or killed. I mean, again, it's against the law to do you. Father allows us. He has chosen us, set us aside. He has covered us and blessed us and given us a daily portion to be able to bow down. You don't have to bow down.
That's right.
But Father's giving you that daily portion to be able to bow and worship Him. Father, we just say thank you so much for all that you've done for us and are doing for us to be able to have your mind stayed on us. Father, we thank you. Sunset today, 5:04, New Orleans, 5:08 Baton Rouge. Videotaping goes on as always, contributions at the right moment. Father continues to command us, so we thank Him. And Father, we just say bless you for keeping us and giving us what you've put in your storehouse. Let us do, Heavenly Father, with it as you would see fit, in a manner that's pleasing unto you. As you've commanded us to give you a tenth thereof, Father, help us to do so. As you commanded us, Heavenly Father, of our bounty to want to return unto you, help us, oh Heavenly Father, to be able, Heavenly Father, to have the hearts to do so. And then, Father, as the most precious thing that can be done, to give a gift, oh Heavenly Father, just to the least of your people, Father, we say thank you this morning for the token that you gave today from one of yours. Father, we thank you. We lift up your name, Father, in Yeshua's name we pray. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. It's a blessing. It is a blessing. See, understanding, you can't teach understanding. Father says, with all thy getting, get the understanding. But you got to get the understanding from Him. When you witness understanding actually just showing itself, that's a wonderful moment. When you just see somebody exhibit understanding from upon high, because you know that that's real, you can't buy that. You can't, say when I get this age, can I have my understanding? Father has to choose to give it. But He's got to look inside to say that you're worthy to receive and to have. I'm thankful for our growth inside of the house of prayer. I'm thankful for what Father is doing with us in this room, with those who are sharing with us. And I just want you to know that don't stop now. Whatever you're doing, don't stop now. Greater works than these. We bless His name. Hallelujah. New moon, 10th month, will be this Wednesday evening, 7 p.m. This Wednesday evening, 7 p.m. Thursday evening, our fast, 72-hour, up to 72-hour fast shall begin this Thursday evening at sunset. Anyone planning to sleep over, please advise, and just there will be a lot of conversation I have just as we're trying to just always want to maximize opportunity for growth and engagement during these times where we come together. If we're going to be here, we can just sleep at home. So if we're going to be here, hallelujah, we always want to add more to just resting. And so, of course, there'll be rest in between, but we're going to have several persons that will participate in the lineup of just sharing information that'll primarily be all focused on fasting as it relates to Scripture. Who fasted, for how long, and times of fasting, events related to fasting, as sharing with daughter this morning. Even the animals fasted, as an occasion pointed out. So therefore, we want to talk about the whole story. We bless His name. We will have an altar prayer. The first, unless something changes here physically, 6 p.m. on this Friday. 6 p.m. on this coming Friday. They shall continue around the clock for the watch hour prayers, but that'll be the first gathering collectively here in the house, unless someone shares that they were planning to be here prior to that. As well, and lastly, if you do not plan on fasting or planning to do the whole 72, if you're planning to do less and you have that conscious time, then if possible and feasible, maybe you could plan to fast. Fast to still conclude Sunday evening, if at all possible, with the plan that you're doing. Fast to conclude, because we will close out on Sunday at sunset. So if you can fast to close out at that time frame for the unity's sake. Bless his name. Second Sabbath next month, we shall have morning study. We'll talk about it more as we draw closer. Third Sabbath next month in January, we shall fellowship in independence. Fellowship in independence be 11:30 that morning. As far as the Passover, as far as what was shared last week and the handout was given, and we shall post one in the foyer, a reminder one, as well as one in the rear. But for the monies related to that were spoken of for the away portion, for those 4 days and 3 nights, for the monies for that, we don't want to put that in the box. If you'll give that to Sister Charlene as the time goes forward. If you'll give that to Sister Charlene, she'll be having all of that taken care of for us, a listing of trying to make sure that we plan that accordingly. So please, as the monies that was requested related to that time of stay for the away portion, able to start giving as you so choose, but please do so by giving that to Sister Charlene. And then, lastly, no meal next week because we shall be in the midst of the fast. No meal next week because we shall be in the midst of the fast. The following weekend, it'll be Team 5. Sister Flo, Sister Pam, Joyce, and others. Team 5, 2 weeks from now. But next week, no meal. Next week, no meal. Just quickly to sign of the times. Netflix has a little uproar. Won't do too much, but on their channel, Christians are upset, and many have petitioned against a depiction that they have on Netflix as Jesus being a homosexual. And wherever the story goes beyond that, that's enough. I don't need to know more details. That's enough. But just how they actually show such. How when he comes, all I heard was one line, he comes into some house, some setting, and it's he and his partner coming into the setting and whatever goes with that story. Somebody said this evil world that we live in is just evil world that we live in. But again, for somebody, Netflix might be the only religion they have. And their religion won't teach them that such is okay in the kingdom of God. Father, continue to have your mercy. And lastly, just a Russian spy ship was spotted near the East Coast this past week, early this week. Then it moved down near the Bahamas. But again, there's a war that's being planned.
Yes.
I just want everybody to know that we aren't just living in any time. We are living in the times of the end.
Bless you, Father.
I can't, no man knows to tell you the day, the hour. But I tell you that, don't always remember, Pearl Harbor didn't happen overnight. There was planning done. There was rehearsals being done. There was some dress rehearsals. Let's go see if we can put a ship over here and what they will do. Let's gauge the responses. Let's gauge the timing, the activity. Just know that it's not over. We live in a state of peace, quote unquote. But one day, peace shall be taken from the world.
Yes.
And it'll be a day that truly will live in it.
Tribulations.
So know that, hallelujah, the time of Yaakov's troubles, they are at hand. So let's be mindful that while the world's minds are just withering away to nothing with the things that are, being, but the entertainment that's just, continuing to just bring us to nothing. It's just taking what little there is and just making it nothing. Just know that there's a spiritual war going on. And the adversary, there are nations that are led by demons. Literally. Just as Michael said to Daniel, I would have been here earlier, but he said that
King of Persia.
the king of Persia, we had to deal with those nations. So understand, House of Eternal has its age. And we thank the Father for it. New Orleans right now, for righteousness' sake, has an angel. He said, if you just will give me 10, I'll keep that polluted land. So I say to you, if
you're one of those that's helping to keep the light on. Father, thank you.
Thank you.
But just know that it's not over. And it's going to get worse before it gets better. So we bless his name. Let's just give Father a hand for the praise this morning, for his visitation in the room. Oh, hallelujah. Father, we can't make you stop here at 2810. Oh, but we appreciate knowing that you had your mind on us. And we thank you from the least to the greatest, and we bless your name. So at this time, we'll continue on with our women's portion of the program today. We bless his name, and we say, hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Shabbat Shalom, saints.
Yes.
Sister Charlene and the Women's Day program lineup is as follows. So the 10 Commandments, the Decalogue, was already led by our own missionary Golden Andress.
Yes.
Our noon prayer was rendered by our beautiful Sister Lisa Rain.
Hallelujah.
Next, I'm going to ask Sister Shirley Edwards to come up in her own way in song. I know she always has a song on her heart. Always. So I knew when I whispered in her ear, I knew I was going to get a positive response.
Yes, ma'am.
And following Sister Shirley, she can come on up. I'm going to come back and present a brief thought for the day. And then all of our women here will come up in their beautiful shades of blue and close out with Blessings on Blessings, featured today by our own Pastor Michael's wife, Sister Charlene Andra.
Somebody pray for me. They had me on their mind. They took the time, prayed for me. I'm so glad they prayed. I'm so glad they prayed.
Hallelujah. Oh, haven't we had a wonderful time so far? How are we going to wrap this thing up today? So why did Yah create man? Why did he create man in his image and in his likeness? He took 5 days to create and form the world with everything needed to inhabit the earth. So that man, once he formed him and her on that 6th day, he could have his glory. So in Genesis 1 and 2, we know that the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the earth, and the Spirit of Yah moved upon the face of the waters, and you know how the rest went from there. And on that 6th day, Yah created man in his image and his likeness, and he said it was very good. So just ponder that for a moment. Why did Yah create man? Why did he create man in his image, in his likeness? Why did he create us to be so unique, so special? So think about, why do we go to work? Most of us work, or we've worked at some point, or we will. You know, we have bills, we have lifestyles to maintain. We have children, family. So I don't know why you go to work, but I go to work because I need to earn a paycheck. Because I live in this world and I need money in order to at least have the bare necessities. You know, I'm not trying to live extravagant. I'm not trying to drive a $40,000, $50,000 car, live in a mansion, but I do need to earn money in order to maintain just my simple lifestyle. Now, if I choose to live a more extravagant lifestyle, then I know that I need a job that's going to pay. If I'm trying to keep up with the Joneses, as they would say. So again, why do we do what we do? Why did Yah create me? Why do kids go to school? And I know some of them probably saying because mom and dad make me go. And it's a requirement to live in this world unless we choose to be unique as some of us are and homeschool our children and what have you. But still, they're required to obtain an education, to get an education, living here in this world that we live. So, but why do adults, once you earn that grade school, high school diploma, why do adults go to college? Why do you spend the time, the money, all the resources that go along with it, the sleepless hours? I know there's a lot of you, I'm looking all across this room, I see all the educators, those that I know personally that have spent some time in a classroom beyond high school. I know none of you, not one of you, including myself, chose to go to college with the mindset that I'm just, I'm gonna go and earn a C, you know, a D, just barely pass, you know, get my diploma. Why do we do what we do? If you choose to go to college, I'm sure you chose to go there to get that higher education, to utilize that resource for something after college is over, to perhaps land a job that's going to pay more than what you were earning. Again, why do we do what we do? Why did Yah create us in his image? Why do we eat? Why are we always talking about food and what are we going to eat and what we're going to have for breakfast and where we can go sit down and who's going to cook, who's going to make the groceries? Why do we eat? Well, we should be eating because we're hungry. Or do we eat because we just like the way food tastes? And because we just can't pass up that aroma. Sometimes we just have those cravings for certain foods and drink. And I know I'm probably just stirring up right now. Everybody thinking about what they're going to have in the back in just a little while. But why do we eat? Well, we should eat to live, not live to eat. So again, we have to keep everything in context. We should eat when we're hungry and eat to live and to be healthy. Why do we sleep when we sleep? Yeshua slept when he was here on this earth. Why did we sleep? We should sleep because we're tired. Why are we tired? Because we should be living productive lives. We should be active. We should be servants. So yes, we should earn the right to sleep. Now again, I'm assuming that we're doing something productive, but if we're just laying down in the bed and just chilling all day and, get out of grade school and now, you're 18 years old and you're at home and mom and dad still paying the bills and taking care of everything, are you earning your right to sleep at night? Are you doing your worth to earn your right to sleep? Are you still at home at 30, 31, 32 years, still at home, still asking mom and dad to pay your bills for you, to help you out? So I could go on and on and on. But back to my first question. Why did Yah create man? And why in his image and why in his likeness? Well, I'm a common sense gal. I know he did not create us to be robots, to be lazy, to be worthless, unproductive, useless, nasty. I'm sure that when he took the time and planned what he had for us, he had everything done in a certain order. And he knew exactly what he intended to do. So if we fall under those categories where we're wasting time, we're not focused, we're looking any old kind of way, we're acting all crazy, we can't process simple information, we're uneducated, we don't want to be told anything, then I don't think that falls under how he created us to be. Come on. I'm just saying, remember, Yah created us in his image and in his likeness. And that is a very, very high standard to me. Very high. So I heard somebody say, I asked them to just watch for a few hours while I went into the garden to pray. And when I came back, they were asleep. Oh, does that sound like someone Yah created in his image and his likeness? You couldn't stay awake for me just for 1 hour? We have to keep everything in context, people. Just 1 hour. He gave us 24 hours in a day, and all he asked was 1 hour just to watch. He didn't say it would be easy. He didn't say the road would be an easy path to take. I know when I drove here this morning, 100 miles, it rained from the time I got in my car to the time I stepped out of the car, and I was here almost 30 minutes, 45 minutes before service should have started this morning. So I believe that what I exhibited today was what he created me to be. That's what I exhibited today, to push and to press, was reflective of the created individual he ordained me to be. See, when Yah chose to create man in his image, in his likeness, he created a marriage, a family. It was not complete. There's a purpose for everything that is done. If you're doing something and there's no valid purpose in what you're doing, what's the point in doing it? He didn't create us because he didn't have anything else to do. He didn't create us because he wanted us to just wander around and just walk around and just, walk around until, our end come, and then the next generation. Come on, y'all just walk around and walk around, and then when your end come, and then the next generation. No, that's not why he created us. The community of the God family is a reflection of him, his egg. Its identity, life, and power comes from Yah. The creation of man was Yah's crowning act. I believe that. So, any deviation, saints, from Yah's purpose for man See those? I don't have my glasses on, but I think that's the. See those over there? He don't want us to exhibit any of those. Adultery, lasciviousness, hatred. Call them out for me, sister. Envy. Drunkenness, idolatry, witchcraft, jealousy. He didn't create us to have that character. Those are chosen characteristics. If we choose to be like that, then that's on us. But you know your destination if you choose to exhibit those characteristics. However, read them out for me, sister. Come on. Read them out for me, sister. Temperance. Peace. Joy. Love. Control. Faith. And the goodness. Oh, hallelujah. So I believe when he created us, and I know because it's in the word, he created us to exhibit the characteristics of the fruit of the Spirit. So remember, any deviation from that work, you already know your destination. Eternal death. Yah created us to glorify him and the God family. In order to do so, we must be physically, mentally, socially, emotionally, psychologically, but most of all, spiritually fit to be able to live the life that he has commanded us to live, which will result in eternal life with him and his family. I'm just saying, saints, as human beings created in Yah's image, we should never be pleased to dwell on the level of existence lower than on which Yah has made it possible for us to dwell. When he created us, he gave us everything that we need. We just have to take it, accept it, remove any and everything that's going to have us struggling and keep us, kind of backsliding and kind of on that tightrope going from one side to the next. We just have to stay focused.
That's right.
We have to strive to be the best that we can be and to reach the highest levels we can reach. To do less, and y'all hear me, I know this, I'm talking to myself. To do less is to be unfaithful stewards of the life he has entrusted to us. So children, just as you put time and energy into playing your favorite games and participating in school activities, you should put that same level of energy and higher into reading Torah.
That's right.
Engaging those things that are contrary to the world's lifestyle, and engage those that you know your parents are striving to teach you, and as you get older, you know that you should be following. For all of us, we should arrive at the sanctuary. We should greet each other and engage each other and praise and worship Yah on a level that cannot be met. One that without doubt pleasing to our Creator. When I came in here last week, House of Time was just trying to just pull me. I don't even know how I made it here last week. There was just so much going on, just everything contrary with what I know I should be thinking and doing and believing in. But the prayers of the righteous availeth much. And if you continue to press and press, he will lead you and guide you. He has not forsaken us. Again, he did not create us to just sit down, come here every Saturday and just sit here all low-key and wait to see what the next person's going to do, to see what the next message that is rendered will be rendered. He created us to come through that door with praise and thanksgiving. Perhaps I wouldn't have gone to that level that I went to last week had I come in and there was just more energy, just a little bit more energy than what was there last week. I'm not blaming nobody or no situation for my shortcomings, but I'm just saying, I don't know what's going on in Sister Z's mind right now, but more. Who knows what that moment that I spend with her will do for her when she leaves here today. I love how Sister Lisa just praised her daughter last week for just being the young woman that she is. And that's what we need. We need to engage each other more. We need to inspire each other. I know there's no one in here, I know Di, there's no one in here that does not to be encouraged, don't need to be encouraged. We all need to be encouraged, Ashley. The presence of each individual is encouragement enough. When I come through here and I see all those empty seats and I don't see my sister Pam there, I got issue with that because Pam inspires me. When I'm up here doing what I do, I need the Pamelas, the Lemoynes, the Dion's, the Michaels, the Stephens, and I'm not singling individuals out, but you know those that are always high up there on that level when that praise and worship happens. So I'm just a servant who is created in Yah's image. I want to be blessed. I'm not doing this because I don't have anything else to do. I could be at home asleep. I could be watching TV. I could be drinking me a daiquiri. I could be doing all those things that I have done before and that I do on occasion that are, consistent with what I can do. When I go to Zumba 4 days a week, I take it through the roof. My energy level is so high. He wants us to give that same energy to serving him. So whatever your calling is, Charles, Joyce, Dion, each and every individual here with the Julia Fountain. Tisha, whatever your calling is, Flo is in the house. Just know that he created you. And if you're not being a reflection of who he is, it's like rolling the dice. That's it. That's it. So I struggled last week, but I'm not struggling today because he gave me another opportunity. I love my husband. We have our ups and downs, our good days and bad days, just like any married couple, any companions do. But this past week and today has been amazing. Amazing for us because I realize that it's not about me, it's about why y'all created me. So I just stopped and I rebuked Hasatan. And I say, as I always say, he's a keeper. So as Dayton said in his last message, we have to have balance in our life. I'm tired a whole lot. I work. Anything I do, I give everything in me. Mama knows. She tells me all the time, you gotta get more rest, you gotta slow down some, but when it comes to Yah, we are servants of his. We don't want him to slow down and slow the blessings, slow the path that we don't want him to slow down when it comes to what we need. So we just have to kind of maybe look at our lifestyles and balance things a little bit more so that we can have well-rounded lifestyles away and here at the assembly so that every one of us can benefit from this work that has been started and that is continuing. So I just want to close with waking up, thanking God. Every day is feeling like the Sabbath. Family flies by my side. Green light, everything's going my way. I'm riding free, living dreams, just like the life of love. And I'm happy to say I give him praise and watch the blessings come. Ain't no day go by that I don't try to thank my God's love. And if you want why I'm loving why, supposing I'll tell you why. That's how I'm going on the last. Living and showing no reason. All of my things I say, oh, I'm glad, I'm glad. That's how I'm going on the last. Living and showing no reason. All of my things I say, oh, I'm glad, I'm glad.
Let's give our one of the house of eternal a hand. Get it together emotionally, physically, mentally, psychologically, spiritually, and all that. I was trying to go back and write them down. But that's how we need to be again. If we're servant of Yah, we're supposed to have it together. A servant of Yah is not, we're going to have our ups and downs, but life should not be a struggle where we're lacking. Because Father can fill us up and complete all voids. So we thank the Father just for his goodness. Thank the Father for hearing dear Sister Lisa with the prayer. Again, hallelujah. Oh, believe me, I don't know about you, but I am so thankful for what Father is doing with the family. So he doesn't have to do anything. He can take us from not doing anything, taking us backwards and subtracting. But instead, he's adding blessings. Thankful for my madam and her portion and just all the house of eternity. So we say thank you, hallelujah. With no further ado, let's hear what the Father has for us. Let's receive out of the morning rain. Hallelujah. We thank him for his goodness today and his mercy enduring everlasting. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Praise Yah.
Praise him. Hallelujah. Yes.
Pastor said the praise gets greater and greater here. As I said, people who come here are amazed. And when you know it, I mean, this is real. This isn't an act here. When we visit other places, people want to see us. They want this body to get up, and because they want to praise like we praise. And the reason why it's as it is because we just do it. There's no fashion or form to it. It's real. It's from the heart. No one here is trying to pretend or put on some act for anybody. And genuine praise is real and true. And everyone can feel it. When I've had friends visit here before, that's one of the main comments they made to me. Like, they just felt something here. They felt it here. They don't go here. They don't do what we do, but they felt it. They felt it here. You can't walk into this house and not feel something. Because Yah is surely here. We're in his presence. When we come together, that's why the gathering here, see, he can be with you in your home too. But you know that when you come here, see, if y'all not in your home, you know that when you come to 2810, he going to be present here today. So if you need a greater measure of him, don't forsake the assembling of yourselves. Don't miss out, because your time is here. His glory is great. And we are here to honor and give it to him. So just a little bit as usual, I had a couple of songs on my mind, but this one was more prevalent, so I guess I'll go with it. When peace like a river attendeth my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever
my soul.
Testing, testing. Okay, hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
It is well with my soul.
Yes, it is.
And I hope that it's well with your soul.
Yes, it is.
A couple of weeks ago, my brother spoke about this time of year. He came and brought us a real in-depth lesson. And so I'm going to touch upon this, but not my brother covered it, but just in a sense. I'm just, I think about this time all the time. I watch those around me. I was at work yesterday and they had their celebration, I guess you would call it or whatever. What I do at this time now is I just leave the office because, as a probation officer, I can go out in the field, so I go out and do field work or do something else. I'll leave early, or I may go home. My wife trying to tell on me right there. I might go home and take a moment for myself. They don't watch this channel, bro. They're not watching this channel. They might get on YouTube, but they're not tuning this. So I don't have to worry too much. But it's funny to me. It amazes me how they all run around like claiming to be filled with joy.
Yeah.
Claiming that at this time of the year, this season, they're all joyful. But the problem with that is that the joy that they are feeling is the joy of the world. So therefore, it's not real joy, right? Yeah. They don't understand what real joy is. See, people confuse joy with happiness sometimes.
Yes.
Happiness and joy are not the same thing. That's right. Happiness can be temporary, where joy, real joy, is permanent and eternal. I want you to understand that. Happiness can be temporary, but real joy is permanent. You see, I have happiness in my marriage with my wife. And I hope that she has happiness in her marriage. I can't speak for her, but I hope so. But the thing of it is it can't really be that joy, because in this marriage and this happiness that we have, something could happen to change that. Right. Today or tomorrow, for some reason, one of us or both of us could choose to walk away. It happens over and over again. Yes. Come on. It won't happen. Yes, but I'm just saying that it could happen. So we could say this is joy, but we can't, because this may or may not be permanent. As I said before, real joy is permanent. Come on. It's so permanent that the evil one is trying to steal it away from you. See, when he realizes that you are joyful, that you are really filled with joy, he tries to steal it away from you. So I look at some of the stuff. I look at, that song, Joy to the World. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, I'm one of those people, like, when I never was really deeply into the whole Christmas bit itself, not even as a child. I mean, like all children, I wanted to get the gifts that I was going to get. That's right. But it never was like, some people are just like sold into it. I never really was. But the one thing I did love about it was those carols, those songs. Because since I love to sing, I got into the songs. I love the songs. And if you look at it, I look at the joy to the world. Joy to the world, it says, the Lord has come. Let earth receive her king. Let every heart prepare him room. Let heaven and nature sing. So that sounds good. Yeah. But we're talking about the king of the world. Not our king. Because our king is not ruling the world right now, right? There's another being, another entity ruling the world. That's right. I mean, even our brother Yeshua, he acknowledged that. This wasn't his time. But there's coming a time when he's going to come back. When he's going to come back and he's going to put him down, he's going to put down the king and the kings of the world. Because truly he is the king of kings. Another one they sing is Silent Night, Holy Night. All is calm, all is bright.
ain't nothing calm out there. There's nothing calm. Look, I've told you before, I've been around when they do this dirty Santa gift swapping thing.
Yeah.
And there is nothing solid enough calmness about that.
Right.
You got people who become enraged.
Yes.
They get enraged. And if you don't know how that works, it's like everybody, if you included, you buy some gift or whatever, and you set the gift on the table. And then everybody is assigned a number. So number 1 goes up and picks a gift first. And so number 2 can come and pick something different or can take number 1's gift. Right? And this goes on until whoever says number 20 is the last one. Number 20 is the only one who's going to actually get what they wanted. Yeah. So to be last in this case would be good. But I've heard people after this like angry because somebody took something from them. You know, and they talk about the reason for the season. The reason for the season is so that all the merchants can make most of their money at this time. That's the reason for the season. And all the people who are in it are deceived into thinking that it's something for them. Because Christmas is not for them at all, really. Christmas is, do you realize that a lot of corporations, a lot of businesses make 60, 70, 80% of their profits during this time? And they're beginning to start earlier and earlier every year. You know, the Christmas decorations go up before Thanksgiving. As they look at Thanksgiving, I started hearing Christmas carols on the radio before Thanksgiving. So they try, because they want more and more time to make that money. And then they talk about what Black Friday and what is Monday, Cyber Monday, or whatever it is, you know. You're not getting no deals. Nope. They just give it a title and have you coming out there. And then look, they even have songs like this. What do the lonely do at Christmas? What do the lonely do at Christmas? Now how is that joyful? Because if you do it in the spirit that they're trying to espouse, then no one should be lonely, right? Right. There should be no lonely at Christmas. You know, many people become depressed at this time of year. They go into a space of depression. And sometimes the depression is because they go into this major debt at this time of year. They go crazy, right? Go crazy with those credit cards. You know, before they know it, by the time this is over, they're in debt. Don't know how they're going to eat. You know, start talking about porn and some of the gifts they bought now. You know, bought all of this stuff they're going to go porn so they can eat. Yeah. So, but what I want you to know is, so we've been told, the word tells us to come out of the world. That's right. Coming out of the world means coming out of Christmas. Coming out of the world means coming out of Christmas. See, you can't have one foot in Christmas and the other foot on the righteous path. Say that again. You can't. It don't mix. Because you can't serve two masters. Is that what the scripture says? So if you're going to serve the world, Christmas is of the world. Yes. And I'm going to tell you, I was guilty of it even after I got on this path because I wouldn't per se celebrate Christmas, didn't get a tree, didn't do all that other stuff, but I would go to my in-laws' house for dinner. So they'd cook this big Christmas meal. I'd go to dinner, and we'd even sometimes, even though we weren't doing it, have a big meal at home as well. But these are all traditions of that celebration. It's traditions of that celebration. And if you're partaking in those traditions, you are tied in to Christmas. Wow. And I'm just saying it because it's the truth. You either in or you out. Hallelujah. Now that's the whole thing. You're either in or you out. You're either all the way out or you're not out. Otherwise, you're fooling yourself. You're deceiving yourself. We got to get out of it. You know, listen. And I remember talking to Jesse Andrews about this years ago because I would tell, and I still do, everyone who I works with, they know where I stand. They know that I'm not going to participate. I've had conversations. I mean, we have a lot of new people now, so a lot of them may not know. But those who've been there, they know where I stand on this. But some still, I'll go into my office and I find stuff on my desk. Like with no name on it, so they won't say who gave it to me, but somebody's left something there. And I remember I was so bothered by it that I came to Pastor Anderson and I talked to him about it. I was like, look, what should I do? I mean, should I go there and like go off on them or something because they won't stop, even though they know? And he said, no. He said, listen, if somebody leaves it there for you, take it.
Then let me flower.
Don't offend them. Just take it. He said, because you have already expressed where you stand.
That's right.
They already know, yet they still continue to do it. So it was wisdom that he gave me because, I mean, I got to work there. So I'm running around there, you know, telling people off, you know, who knows how that's going to go. You know, I might not have that good government job for too long. I just need to hold on to August, y'all. Because as I keep saying, if the Father says so, I'm going to join Sister Charlene over there in that club where I'll be out of that. I'm looking forward to it. But only if y'all say so. Learn to say that as well. You see, the world is looking for joy and peace in a lie. They talk about joy and peace in the season. So they will never achieve it because it's a lie. Joy doesn't come from without. See, your joy don't come from outside, from what people are doing for you, from gifts people giving to you, from singing songs that talk about Christmas. True joy comes from within. And it's the result of a person's spiritual relationship with the Father and the Son. And his obedience to his commands and statutes. So let's talk a little bit about real joy, true joy. So understand what I just said. The real joy comes from within. And it has to do with your relationship with the Father and your obedience to his will and to his way. Because if you want joy, this is the roadmap to get it. By obeying him.
Yes.
Psalms chapter 30. Psalms 30. Starting at verse 1. Psalms 30, starting at verse 1. I will extol you, O Yah, for you have lifted me up, and have not let my enemies rejoice over me. O Yah, my Elohim, I cried to you for help, and you healed me. O Yah, you have brought up my soul from Sheol. You have kept me alive, that I will not go down into the pit. Sing praise to Yahweh, you his godly ones, and give thanks to his holy name. For his anger is but for a moment. His favor is for a lifetime. Weeping may last for nothing, but joy cometh in the morning time. Joy comes to you in the morning time. So you're going to find joy in him. Like, even when you sin, see, you're going to pay, right? You're going to be held accountable for your sin. But that lasts for a short time because his forgiveness is great. He is gracious, and his mercy and his favor gets us out of it.
Hallelujah.
Yes. Romans 5. Romans 5. Romans 5. See, the Father wants us to experience this real joy. See, the real joy, you know, think about I know during the praise that we had today, my heart was filled with joy. Yeah. I don't experience that every day and every moment when I'm outside of here. Not to that level. You know, but I do experience joy at home because I find myself at times just praising. And I'm even more joyful because the Father is doing great things in my life. And not only in my life, but in the life of my family members. Hallelujah. In the life of my family members, he is lifting us up. He is making us into this cohesive unit spiritually. Spiritually, which is important. Romans chapter 5, starting at verse 1. Therefore, since we have been justified by faith, we have peace with Yah through Yahushua HaMashiach. Through him, we have also obtained access by faith into this grace in which we stand. We're standing in his grace. That is something to be joyful about. That his grace is, do you understand that his grace isn't given to everyone at this time? Hallelujah. Do you understand how blessed you are? I am, we are, to stand in his grace right now? The fact that he is even dealing with us, that he is active in our lives means something. Because the world doesn't believe this, but he's not dealing with everybody right now. Hallelujah. There are those who are walking around thinking that they're dealing with Yahweh, Elohim, but they're dealing with something else. They're dealing with a whole nother power. They are deceived. And that's one of the reasons understand his word and his way. They don't understand that they're dealing with a polluted word.
Yes.
That they think that they're getting truth, but what they're really getting is deception and lies. And we rejoice in hope of the glory of Yah. We rejoice in that. Not only that, but we rejoice in our sufferings.
Yeah.
We rejoice in our sufferings because we know that the reward that's to come is going to outweigh that.
Yes.
But Paul said, I count them worthless.
Yes.
I don't count them worthy to even think about the suffering.
Yes.
And we know that the word says if we want to reign with him, we got to suffer with him.
Yes.
We got to suffer with him. Knowing that that suffering produces it. And understand, look, the sufferings are not for nothing. They're not for any cause. This word says, knowing that our sufferings produce endurance. And endurance produces character. Spiritual, godly character. And character produces hope. So you don't have to give up, because if you have hope, you always got something to look forward to. And hope does not put us to shame, because Yah's love has been poured into our hearts through his Holy Spirit, which has been given to us.
Yes.
Look at it this way. At the right time, the right moment, while we were still helpless yet sinners, Yahushua would die for an ungodly people.
Hallelujah.
For an evil people.
Yeah.
We know we were evil. We come right out of evil. But we're blessed because he's called us out of it.
Hallelujah.
And that's why we got to, in all ways, come out of that world as we keep preaching. That's why we can't have nothing to do with this Christmas.
Yes.
We can't have nothing to do with it. And I know, you got to deal with this your own self. You got to be strong.
Yes.
You got to tell your family members what this is for you. You got to be able to say no.
Yes.
When you get invited over for Christmas,
Hallelujah.
you got to reject it. And it's for your own good. For your own salvation.
Hallelujah.
For your own salvation. You know what you got to do is, you got to just explain it to them. I think a lot of times, maybe we don't really talk real to the people that's around us. We don't talk real to the people that, because we worried about they're not going to understand, or maybe we going to offend them or whatever. But we got to make them understand what we stand on, where we come from, and what we believe. See, they got to know who we are and whose we are, as the sister would say. In our absence. They got to know whose we are. And the only way they're going to do that is if we speak up. We speak up. See, we got to be strong. We got to say what we got to say. And that's where I'm at right now. I'm about what's right. Now, a lot of times about being what's right can cause strife in your life, in your home, in your workplace. Because sometimes, people looking over what's right, they might not understand, but we as children of Yah, we have to stand on right all the time.
All the time.
No matter who we're dealing with.
Yes.
No matter who we're dealing with. It's got to be about what's right.
Hallelujah.
And that's each one of us individually, not just me. You got to stand on what's right. If I'm in your presence and I'm not right, then you got to stand on what's right. And you got to say, hey, this is what's right, brother. You can't worry about my reaction. If I'm going to get angry, if I'm going to get mad.
Yes.
Because it's going to pass.
Yes.
Especially if you're dealing with children of Yah.
Hallelujah.
Because y'all going to touch them now and they're going to realize that what you gave them was right. That's why we should resort to the word for everything.
Hallelujah.
See, if you have a disagreement, with a brother, a sister, your wife, your children, pick up the word.
Hallelujah.
Find it in the word. Find the answer in the word, because you can't argue with the word. You can argue with me and say I'm wrong. But if you believe in the word, you're going to say the word is right.
Hallelujah.
So settle your differences in the word.
Yes.
It's all there. Go find it. That might mean you have to do some work to find what you're looking for. But that's going to be the solution. Because see, if it's just your words, now you got my words against your words.
Yes. That's right.
See, because doing it that way means that you don't just want to be right, you want what's right. See, we got to determine whether we want to be right or whether we're going to do what's right. Because people wanting to be right don't really mean that they're right. They're just right in their own mind, in their own self. They're right in their own mind, right? Because I believe I'm right, and so I'm right. It's a perception is reality. It's the same. If I perceive something, then I believe it. I believe that I'm right. But we got to really be, I'm telling you, look, we got to deal with each other like this. Even in this house. Like if we see something, we need to talk. We see something going like it shouldn't go, we need to pull our brother or our sister to the side and have a conversation with them. And if that don't work, then we need to go to like the ministry and say, listen, you know, I tried to address this or whatever, it didn't work. And then we take it to another level. But we would be derelict in our spiritual duties to just let it go. To just let it go. I'm not saying that we're supposed to come up in here and lord over people. That's not the purpose of it. The purpose of it is salvation. This is about your walking, and it's in love. Everything that we do is in love. Because if we have not love, what do we have? Nothing. The word says that he is love. And if we want to be a part of him, then where are we? We got to be loved. All the time. That's right. Which means that we got to be selfless. We got to be willing to esteem others above us. And I was saying to someone, loving doesn't mean that we got to be all 100 touch and feel. That's right. That doesn't mean that isn't what it is. But we have to have a genuine concern about our brothers, about our sisters. We should care. That's right. We should care. You know, I say that, you know, you go out there and see all these people on the corners, and you know, you want to have compassion for them, but we go broke. If we stopped and tried to help everybody who wanted $1 or 50 cents or whatever it is they're looking for, we wouldn't be able to survive. And what I say is, I just let the spirit of y'all just lead me. So there are times when the spirit says, give, and I give. And it doesn't matter, look, I don't fall for how sad the situation looks or whatever. You know, because you have somebody out there with 3 or 4 children out there on the corner, and you'll catch them out there every day if you go the same route. I read a story recently about this woman. She was coming out. They thought she was pregnant, right? Wow. And so she'd be out there every day, and people was giving her money. And one lady, you know, usually y'all, it's usually somebody white, right? So this one lady decided she needed to investigate her. And she did, because she's the one who wrote the story. So she followed her one day, like she stayed out there. And I don't know how you got that kind of time. She stayed out there until because these people go on shifts, right? They be on like, it's a job for them, y'all. They'll be out there, you see somebody there for a few hours, then the next one comes up and takes their place, right? Well, she followed this woman and she took pictures, witnessed her getting into some very expensive, and it was expensive, some expensive vehicle or whatever, had all of these things. Well, this is how she bought all of those things. Yeah. You know, just think about it. If you were to stand on a corner anywhere all day long, and you had a sign up, thousands of people pass by. Yeah. If just say 1 out of every 50 people gave you something, it's going to be a very good day for you. It's going to be a very good day for you. It's going to be very good. So, you know, so what I'm saying is we give out of love, but we're not, you know, the Father doesn't want us to be foolish and give away everything. So we got to be wise in what we're doing. But we got to have that love. Book of Psalms, verses 7 and 8. 7 and 8. Psalms chapter 4, verse 7 and 8. You have put more joy in my heart than they have when their grain and wine abound. So things people can give you. See, the Father puts more joy in your heart than anything that anyone can give you. The joy that the Father's given you in your heart is better than millions. It's better than billions. Hallelujah. Might be hard for the corner mind to receive because we all want millions, I think. We all like to have them, but it's temporal. It's temporal. You know what happens the day when our financial system fails and those dollar bills you have be nothing? You got them dollar bills and you go somewhere and nobody gonna take it. You know, countries in the world are already shunning the U.S. dollar already. They don't have nothing. You know, the world currency was the U.S. dollar, but they're changing that. Because the U.S. dollar is unstable. It's unstable. See, what we do is we just print more money. We print more money, but your wealth, the country's wealth, is supposed to be based upon something. And here it's based upon gold. So you got enough gold, they can print up more money than the gold is worth, I'm sure. And so we're trading on treacherous ground here. So you can't put your faith in finances and money. That's why, you know, whenever we end up at Yah's Refuge or wherever we end up at, we're going to have to know to care for ourselves. We're going to have to know how to plant We're going to have to know how to have animals, how to take care of ourselves. Because you're not going to be able to go, and then, you know what they say you're going to have to do to buy and sell in this world that's coming. What you're going to have to do to buy and sell, so you won't be able to buy and sell. We're going to have to become self-sufficient. Self-sufficient. And you know what, as a family, it'll be easier for us to do that than individually.
There you go.
Because we can share the work, we can share the burden. We can all work for one common goal, one common good. Throw a Shane back there. Show us how to do this. You know, the young man puts his all into whatever it is he's trying to do. He's trying to learn. And that's what we need. Someone who's willing to go all the way. I said earlier that Elder Stephen always said with the praise, let's leave it all on the field. What you gonna take home with you? Let it all go. Let's let it go. Let's give it to him. Because it's his. The praise that we have inside us, it's not for us. We're not praising ourselves. Well, maybe some of us are, but it's not the right way to go, right? Because we can't do anything for ourselves. I fall asleep in peace the moment I lie down. Isn't that great if we're able to, look, if we have enough joy and enough peace in our lives and in our hearts that we can fall asleep the moment we lay down. Because you alone, oh God, enable me to live securely. This is what you get in joy and peace from the Father. See, you're not, if you're depending on the peace or the joy of the world, you're not going to sleep. You won't sleep at all because you got to worry about whether somebody's going to bust through your doors at nighttime while you sleep. Because see, they're bold now. They're not going to just wait till you're not home to bring you in. They're going to come in while you're there. My wife is always saying that she reads, you got to be careful when you go out into the public because there are people out there waiting to snatch women, children into human trafficking. Into human trafficking. Your wife, your daughter goes out there, you need to be with them if you can. If you can, because it's not safe out there. It is not safe out there. As she said in her prayer, evil is abounding. Specifically with children. They want to make them sex slaves. For perverted people. Predators. Snatching kids. Snatching women. She showed me an article where at some mall or something, 5 Cadillacs surrounded a woman and her daughter. And were trying to get them in, but they were yelling and screaming. And fortunately, obviously there were some people around who cared. Because the people around came to their rescue. But you know that could be happening to you and people be all around and they do nothing. They mind their business, as they say. They will mind their business and anything can happen to you. You know, we live in a world where the love has waxed cold. The love has waxed cold. Cold enough to let somebody just allow that to happen to you. John chapter 15. Book of John chapter 15. So we only have Yah. And we are protected because of him, because of his love, his grace, and his mercy. He sets forth his guardian angels about us on a daily basis to protect us and to keep us from harm. Don't take that for granted. It's because of who we are and whose we are. He is with us. I know I'm here to say thank you for him when something almost happens, you know, and he stops it before it happens. And you realize it, and you know, but him, right? But Yah, if it had not been for him, that bad thing would have happened to you. You'd have been lost in it. John chapter 15, starting at verse 5. I am the vine. You are the branches. He who abides in me, and I in him, he bears much fruit. And that's what we're doing, bearing fruit. And you read it earlier, one of the fruit of the Spirit is joy. It's the joy of the Father. This is the fruit that the Word is talking about bearing. This is the fruit that we have to bear. Which means that it says that we should bear fruit and we should bear fruit abundantly. Our fruit should multiply. So if we bear a little goodness, we got to bear more goodness. If we bear a little temperance, we got to bear more temperance. And more peace. And more joy. And more love. And more and more and more and more. This is what we're doing. This is how we live, and it's more and more. What you have right now ain't good enough. You're going to need some more. Don't rest on your laurels with what you think you got.
Yes.
And don't let the evil one take away what you do have.
Hallelujah.
Don't let him steal your joy. And you know what? The only way that any being, anyone can steal your joy is if you allow them to steal your joy. You see, you got to allow somebody to steal your joy.
Hallelujah.
Because no matter what is in your life, no matter what situation you're in, if you hold on to your joy in the midst of it, it shall remain. And you're going to make it through. And he's going to lift you up.
Hallelujah.
He bears much fruit. For apart from me, you can do nothing. Nothing. If anyone does not abide in me, he is thrown away as a branch and dries up. And they gather them and they cast them into the fire to be burned. Useless. Done away with. That's what we are if we don't abide in him. If we don't keep his commands. If we don't follow his statutes. We are useless to be cast into the fire to be burned up. If you abide in me, and in my words, I will abide in you. Ask whatever you wish. Ask whatever you wish, and it will be done. Now, I know, see, some people get confused with this because they ask things and they haven't got it. And you know, it's because possibly that you're not asking for the right thing. See, he knows what you need. And if you're asking for what you need, then he's going to answer. He's going to be there for you. If you're asking for something you don't need or something that's not going to do you any good, if he loves you, he's not going to give it to you. Because there's no profit in it for you. It's just going to be a distraction and turn you away. By this is my Father glorified. That you bear much fruit and so prove to be my disciples. You bear much fruit and you prove to be disciples of Yahushua HaMashiach. Just as the Father has loved me, I have also loved you. Abide in my love. He wants us to abide in his love. See, you can hide in the love of Yahushua HaMashiach. You can be covered in the love of Yahushua HaMashiach. You can be protected in his love. In his love there is peace. In his love there is joy. And when you feel it, you can express that same peace and joy to those who are around you. See, people recognize real joy and real peace. And when they see it, it's an inspiration unto them. It's an inspiration when people are able to see it. If you keep my commandments, you will abide in my love. You got to keep his commandments to abide in his love. Just as I have kept my Father's commandments. See, he's telling us he was sent to do something. He was sent to obey, to be obedient, and he did it. Just as I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in his love. And he expects us to keep that which he's given us and abide in his love. These things have I spoken to you so that my joy, the joy that we long for, that it may be in you. And that your joy may be made full or made complete. You want a full joy? You want a complete joy? Then abide in his love. And by abiding in his love, keep his commandments. Follow his statutes. This is my commandment, that you love one another just as I have loved you. Greater love has no one than this, that one lay down his life for friends. You are my friends. You are my friends. You are his friends. What a friend we have in Yeshua. What a friend we have in him. It says, you are my friends if you do what I command. So if you're not doing what he commands, don't walk around singing that song. Because you don't have a friend. He's not your friend.
Come on, boy.
He's not your friend. He said, if you do what I'm asking you to do, I'm your friend. Because then if he becomes your friend, no longer do I call you slaves, for the slave does not know what the master is doing. But I have called you friends. For all the things that I have heard from my Father, I have made it known to you.
Hallelujah.
You did not choose me. We didn't choose him. We didn't sit around and decide. He decided. You are here because he called you to be here.
Bless you, Father.
Well, we have said that in the Hebrew, there is no word for coincidence.
No, it's not.
You're not here by chance.
No.
You're not here by accident. You're here because he willed you to be here. He willed for you to be here. You did not choose me, but I chose you and appointed you that you would go and bear fruit. So he didn't choose you for nothing, though. He chose you for a purpose. He chose you to bear fruit, to be fruitful, and that your fruit would remain. The fruit that you bear, he wants it to remain, so that whatever you ask of the Father in my name, he may give you. Bear fruit, and whatever you ask in the Father in his name, he will give you. This I command you, that you love one another. We can't get around love, y'all. You can't take it out. And anytime any word gets spoken up here, love gonna come out. And it's got to, because he is love. The Father is love. Second Philippians. Philippians chapter 2. I said second. I'm creating a new book. Second Philippians chapter 2. We'll start in verse 1. Therefore, if there is any encouragement in Yahushua, if there is any consolation of love, if there is any fellowship of the Spirit, if any affection and compassion, make my joy complete. Make the joy complete by being of the same mind, maintaining the same love, united in spirit. We got to be united in spirit. We one here. We're one body. And we're united in spirit. And we're united in love. Intent on one purpose. We have one purpose. And that purpose is to serve the Father, to be obedient to him, and to enter into his kingdom on that day of salvation. Do nothing from selfishness. Nothing from selfishness. Empty conceit. But with humility of mind, regard one another more important than yourselves. Now, a lot of people can't do that. Because we're so consumed with ourselves, we don't want to put nothing ahead of ourselves. But the Father, look, we got to remember what he did. He put all of us ahead of himself.
That's right. He sure did.
He was God. He was Elohim. Yet, he became a man. And he walked this earth. And he lived like you did, and like I do. He breathed this air as we do. It wasn't as polluted back then, but he breathed the same air that we breathe. And he came to his own people, and his own people persecuted him. And they nailed him to a tree. For what? All he did was come and tell us how to live, tell us the right way. But he esteemed himself above all of us. He was willing to die, as in scripture I read earlier, while we were yet sinners. While we were yet still evil, he died for us. He died for us way back then because he could see down the line in the future me. He could see you, put yourself in there. He could see you, and he could see the sin that you were going to commit in your life. And he knew that you needed his blood, that you needed to be washed in the blood, that he needed to wash your heart, that he needed to wash your mind, and he was willing to do it. And mainly he was willing to do it because it was his Father's will that he did it. That's right. And he was willing to do the Father's will. He was willing to be obedient. That's what we have to do, be willing to be obedient unto him. You got to have a willing mind and a willing heart to do this thing. If you're not willing, you're fighting against yourself. You got to have willing. You have to surrender. You got to give it up and let him take charge. You still trying to hold on to it, you're not going anywhere. Learn his word. Do his word. Live his word. Do not merely look out for your own personal interest, but also for the interest of others. You're going to spend all your time looking out for you.
Come on.
Something's wrong with that picture.
Something wrong.
Because that's not his way. If that's what we're doing, if you say you want to be in his way, then these changes, everything's got to change. Everything's got to change.
Break it down.
We can't get away from that. Everything's got to change. Keep saying that over and over to yourself. I find myself doing it daily, talking to myself. Especially when I know I'm leaning somewhere where I shouldn't be leaning. I got to tell myself everything's got to change. See, it's not that we're not going to lean in the wrong direction. As long as we got this flesh and blood on us, we're going to lean in the wrong direction. But we got to catch ourselves and get back in the right way. And we got to tell ourselves everything's got to change. Have this attitude in yourself, which was also in Yahushua HaMashiach, who although he existed in the form of Elohim, did not regard equality with Yah a thing to be grasped. So he was with him, he had power like him, but he wasn't trying to take his power. He wasn't trying to be equal to him. He understood he had a role and a position to play, just as we do. Oh, come on. Yes. We have a role. So that's what that evil one couldn't understand. You had a place. Yes. This is your place. But you want to move into something that's not yours. Right. You think you could overthrow the very Yah? You think you could defeat him?
The one that created you.
How? Wow. And that's what we do in our minds too. You think you can overcome his ways? You can't. Yeah. You can't. Pay me now or pay me later. Yeah. Wow. That's where we at now. Pay him now or pay him later. Yeah. Suffer now or suffer later. But the later suffering will be more than you want to bargain for. The suffering that's to come. It's going to be something you don't want to handle. But emptied himself, taking the form of a bond servant. See, he came as a lowly one, a bond servant, and being made in the likeness of men. This man who he had watched, who he spoke, let there be light, and he spoke. He created the man. Let us create him in our image. Yes. He and the Father together, and he did this work, and he done watched this man that he created from Adam on till he came here. Do what? Rebel against him. Rebel against everything that he's given him. Yet, he loved us enough. He loved us enough to look past it. He looked past our faults. But being found in appearance as a man, he humbled himself by becoming obedient to the point of death. See, he became obedient to the point of death. His obedience got him nailed to a tree. Yes. Because he didn't want to succumb to the powers that be. And you know what, y'all? We don't know. Some of us may have to walk that same path someday. Where you either going to have to stand or bail out. You either going to have to stand on the words of the Father and be obedient to him and prepare to die, or you're going to deny him as Peter did. Wow. Or you're going to deny him. Yes. But see, the great thing for us, and we've said this before, is that, see, he knows which ones of us that can do that. Yeah. He knows who can stand. Yeah. And that's why the word says he don't put more on you than you can handle. Right. See, he knows those who are going to be able to stand in that time. And going to be able to die. Going to be able to give it all up for him and for his glory. Even death on a tree. Therefore, also Yah highly exalted him. Hallelujah. And bestowed on him the name which is above every name. All names. So that at the name of Yahushua HaMashiach, every knee will bow. Hallelujah. Of those who are in heaven and on earth and under the earth. And every tongue will confess that Yahushua HaMashiach will confess him to the glory of Yah, the Father. We're going to confess him and profess him just like that. 1 Peter. Chapter 1. 1 Peter chapter 1. You want this joy, y'all. We got to be filled with his joy. A real joy. Not the counterfeit joy. Because the world, see, all Satan does is counterfeit everything that the Father's trying to do for us. So that a man might believe it, he gives his counterfeit version of it. So look, the Father gave us his holy days. Satan gave the world their holidays. Sounds similar. Sounds similar. And some of them fall around the same time frame as his holy days. So they're really trying to pervert it. You know, that whole nativity story, right? people don't even understand that thing. Because like I said, if you see it, they have the kings, the wise men there at the nativity scene when he was born, which we all know that is no way true.
Hallelujah.
Because when those kings encountered Herod, Herod asked him, because he knew that child could be 2. He ordered all firstborn males 2 and under to be killed.
Right.
Because Herod knew that child could be 2 years old. So the wise men wasn't there. This is a polluted thing. And you know who else wasn't there? Yahushua HaMashiach. I don't know who that baby was that had that baby. I don't know who that baby was.
The one on the ground.
That baby wasn't him. He wasn't there. He wasn't there. I don't know what them shepherds in that nativity scene was doing or what they were seeing, but I don't know. He wasn't in that baby. He wasn't wrapped in them swaddling clothes. He wasn't there.
Bless his name, church.
Peter chapter 1 start. 1 Peter 1 starting at 3. Blessed be Yah Elohim and Yahushua HaMashiach, who according to his great mercy has called us to be born again to a living hope through the resurrection of Yahushua HaMashiach from the dead. See, we're gonna rise up from the dead, John.
Yes.
Whether it's a physical death or whether it's just this carnal body that we're gonna take off, we're gonna rise up. Because this carnality, this flesh is dead. It's dying every day. We get older. Look in the mirror. You look different every day. You look older every day. The body is going. It's going. It's going. It's not meant to last.
Hallelujah. Yes, thank you.
He resurrected us to obtain an inheritance which is imperishable. See, we're trying to go from the perishable to the imperishable. And undefiled. And will not fade away. See, the new body that we're going to have, it will not fade away. It's going to last forever. It's going to show the glory of Yah, which he has given to you. It's going to shine through. And it's reserved in heaven for you, who are protected by the power of Yah through faith for a salvation ready to be revealed in the last time. Salvation is coming, y'all.
That's right.
You're not walking your walk in vain.
Yes.
You're not doing it in vain. Salvation is coming for you.
Yes.
And in that day, the joy that you might feel now is going to be multiplied within you.
Yes.
In this you greatly rejoice, even though now for a little while it is necessary you have been distressed by various trials. So you're going to have to go through something. We keep saying that while you're walking this walk, you're going to go through something. We all going to go through something. Think it not strange.
Hallelujah.
Right? It's a blessing. You ever thought about that? Your trials and your tribulations are a blessing unto you. Might not feel like a blessing sometimes, but it's a blessing because in them, if you're going through them right, in them, you grow spiritually. Because of them, you grow spiritually. You learn something at the Father. See, everything that the trials that come, he's teaching us a lesson. He's giving us something. You might pray. You say, Father, please give me more faith.
Yes.
So then he does it. But not in the way that you thought.
Right.
He affects your life in a way where now you got to believe. You have no choice but to believe in him. You got to call upon his name to see the outcome, to escape it. If necessary, as I said, you've been distressed by various trials. So that the proof, see, you got to prove your faith.
Hallelujah.
You say you have faith? And you know who you're really proving your faith to? You. See, the Father already knows how much faith you got.
Yes.
He knows everything.
Yes.
But through these trials and tribulations, you're proving your own faith to yourself.
Hallelujah.
You're showing that you have what you thought you have. Or, conversely, you're showing that you don't have.
Yes.
The faith that you thought you had. Which is a good thing. Because, it's good to know where you actually stand. Where you actually are. Because now that if you discover that you don't have the faith that you thought you had, you still have an opportunity to grow, to gain more faith. Because if you never recognized it, you'd be walking around thinking you were something that you're not. Thinking that you have something that you don't.
Yes.
That's what he does for us. And he does these things for us because of his love for us. And where did I stop? Though tested by fire, may be found to result in praise and glory and honor at the revelation of Yahushua HaMashiach. And though you have not seen him, you love him. And though you do not see him now, but believe in him, you greatly rejoice. Y'all, we're rejoicing in something we haven't seen. Hallelujah. We are. Because we believe by faith that it is so. We believe that he came, lived as a man, died, and was resurrected, and ascended back into the third heaven. We believe that. And we rejoice with joy inexpressible and full of glory, because that thing that he did for us was the greatest sacrifice that could ever be made, and the greatest thing that anyone will ever do for any one of us. There's no one else who could give you such a gift. No matter how hard they try. Obtaining as the outcome of your faith the salvation of your souls. So once again, the outcome will be the salvation of your souls. Yes. Psalm 16 verse 11 reads, you make known to me the path of life. In your presence there is fullness of joy. Yeah. In the presence of the Father there is fullness of joy. At your right hand are pleasures forevermore. Forevermore. We got to stand in his presence. James chapter 1 verses 2 through 4. James chapter 1 verses 2 through 4. Consider it all joy, my brethren, when you encounter various trials. See, there it is. Consider it joy. Knowing that the testing of your faith produces endurance. And let endurance have its perfect result. Let it have its perfect result. So that you may be perfect and complete. Yes. Hebrews chapter 10 verse 22. Let us draw near with a true heart in full assurance of faith, with our hearts sprinkled clean from an evil conscience, yes, and our bodies washed with pure water. His water, the water that he wants to give us, the water that you'll never thirst from again. See, the water that he gives is the water that if you drink it, if you take it upon you, you will never thirst again. Yes. Galatians chapter 5. One more scripture after that. Galatians chapter 5. Starting with verse 13. Yeah. Galatians 5 and 13. For you are called to freedom, brethren. Only do not turn your freedom into an opportunity for the flesh, but through love serve one another. Hallelujah. We can't let the flesh win, y'all. That's right. For the whole law is fulfilled in one word, in the statement, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. But if you bite and devour one another, take care that you are not consumed by one another. Hallelujah. See, if we're busy trying to take each other down, we're going to be consumed by that. We're going to consume each other. When you're trying to take your brother down, you're doing harm to your own self. You don't even realize it. You're hurting yourself. You think you're hurting them. And you might be in some way. But the real effect is that you're hurting yourself. But I say, because this is what we got to do now, to keep that joy, to live in that joy, we got to walk by the Spirit. Yes. And if we walk by the Spirit, we will not carry out the desires of the flesh. Yes. For the flesh sets its desire against the Spirit, and the Spirit is against the flesh. For these are in opposition to one another, so that you may not do the things that you please. See, he gives us the Spirit so we can live right. Right. We can't live right in the flesh, but he gives us the Spirit so that we can live right. That's right. Take advantage of it. Yes. Live right. Yes. Everything has to change. That's right. But if you are led by the Spirit, you are not under the law. Now the deeds of the flesh are evident, which are immorality, impurity, sensuality, idolatry, sorcery, enmities, strife, jealousy, outbursts of angers, disputes, dissensions, and factions, envying, drunkenness, carousing, in the things like these of which I forewarn you, just as I have forewarned you, but those who practice such things will not inherit the kingdom of Yah. None of that sounds good, y'all. You just listen to those words and you know what they mean. None of that sounds good. None of that sounds like anything that any of us should have in our lives or should be involved with. Verse 22, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. Against such things there is no law. And you see, Sister, we're on the same page. You brought that out. The Father brings His word out all together. When I heard it, I was like, that's always a confirmation. I've heard so many things, just small words spoken today that says, this is what he wants. Right. His confirmation is good. Ephesians chapter 6. Ephesians chapter 6, and you know this. It's what we got to do, what He gave us. It's for our protection. It's what we got to do to keep our joy, so that the evil one can't steal our joy. We got to get ready. We got to get prepared, because this means war. This means war. We in a war, y'all. And if you don't fight in the war, you're going to be conquered. So you got to fight. And how you going to fight? Ephesians chapter 6, starting at verse 10. Finally, be strong in Yahweh and in the strength of His might. See, we don't have no might, but in the strength of His might. Put on the full armor of Yah, so that you will be able to stand firm against the schemes of the evil ones. He got some schemes going on. He working out plans and things, devices to try to get you. Yeah, he is. See, because he know that, like I said before, we didn't come too far. If he came to us in the red suit with the pitchfork, we're going to reject him right off. See, we're going to be like, get thee behind me when we see him like that. But there are other ways that our flesh desires that he can come to us in, that we might not be so quick to resist. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, principalities, against the powers, against the world forces of against the world forces of darkness, against the spiritual forces of wickedness. See, there's spiritual wickedness out there. So when you say you're walking in the Spirit, you got to be sure what spirit you're walking in. Are you walking in the spirit of good, which comes from Yah, or are you walking in the spirit of wickedness? And they're in heavenly places. Therefore, take up the full armor of Yah, so that you will be able to resist in the evil day, and having done everything to stand firm. Stand firm, therefore, having girded your loins with truth, and having put on the breastplate of righteousness, and having shod your feet with the preparation of the gospel of peace. In addition to all, taking up the shield of faith, which you shall be able to extinguish, which you will be able to extinguish all the flaming arrows of the evil one. All of the flaming arrows, all of those things that he's shooting towards you in your life, you can, with that shield, you can extinguish them. Keep your faith. And take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of Yah. Don't put down the word. Take the word with you wherever you go. Take it with you. Be in it in season and out of season. Keep the word. Keep in it. Keep delving into it. Study it. With all prayer and petition, pray at all times in the Spirit. And with this in view, be on the alert with all perseverance and petition for all the saints. And pray on my behalf that utterance may be given to me in the opening of my mouth, to make known the boldness of the mystery of the gospel, for which I am an ambassador, we all are ambassadors, in chains, that in proclaiming it, I may speak boldly as I ought to speak. So remember, true joy it comes from within, not from without. There is nothing in the world that can give you joy. There may be things in the world that might bring you some temporary happiness, but don't confuse it with joy. Pure, true joy coming from the Father. It coming from Him. You can only get real joy from the Father. So remember, this time, we don't have to think about the reason for the season, because this ain't no season for us in the first place. Our season ended a little while ago. We're looking forward to the season to come. We finished our season. This is now Christmas. Is not for us. None of it. None of it.
Thank you.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Father, we thank you today. Yeah, we bless your name. Is he worthy today? Did he give you something today? Did he share something with you today? Did he remind you of something today? The race is not given to the swift or the strong. Yesterday, it might have been a good day. It may not have been your best day. But if he should wake you up one more time, only what you do for him will last. So that means you have the opportunity to put it all in. This is it right now. You know, it says all of what we were, all of what we are, who we've been, it's all to amount for something. And now it's time for us to show Father that he chose wisely. You think Father chose his son to come down and do what he did because he knew he would lose and be ashamed? And that temptation the adversary was going to put before him, that he would then shame him? Or do you believe that he put his money on a winner? You think he selected Job because he was ready to be 50-50 embarrassed? Or that he knew he was putting his money on a winner? That's the faith that we have to have. But in order to have that faith, you can withhold nothing. That's the truth of the message. You can't withhold anything. You got to lay it all on the line, and you got to come clean and come correct. And Father will do everything that he needs to do. But will you be a worthy vessel to have it be done unto? It's a blessing. So many scriptures brother used. Let's give Mount Evelyn Moore a hand clap for bringing the word. About 5 of the scriptures that are at least, that's next week, I said, okay, well, Father can give you so many things in those same scriptures, I said, but that lets us know that we're all on the same page.
That's right, Pastor.
Beating from the same drum.
That's right.
Because it's about unity. You know, there's a scripture that says, behold, I show you a mystery. Now, he talks about death and sleep. But that death is really sleep there. But there's another mystery that he talks about. He talks about the mystery of two becoming one. That's a mystery. We take it very vicariously and easily, but that's a mystery on how two really become one. Father and son, they say be one as we are one. They spirits though, that's so different. He pulled him out of his body. I ain't pull my mate out of mine. How we become one?
Yes.
Behold, I show you a mystery.
Yes.
So we say thank you, Father.
Thank you, Father.
But I just say thank you, Father, for the opportunity to know that his spirit is wrapped up inside of this place. And for those who desire, he's willing to give. Let's let our fruit be worth the bearing that he wants us to be able to use. So we thank him this day. Let's withhold nothing, and then we'll close ourselves out. Hallelujah.
I surrender all to you. Everything I give to you. Withholding nothing. Withholding nothing. I surrender all to you.
give you all of me. I give you all. I surrender. I surrender all to you. Everything I give to you. Everything I give to you.
Hold back nothing. If this is the last prayer, hallelujah, that Father will allow, be one with him and hold back nothing. We are but a vapor, saints. But Father has chose us for a profession of a higher calling. The harvest is great. A few labors only are there on this narrow road. And if you are willing to stand and declare the glory of Almighty Yahweh, his truth that is everlasting, there's purpose to go on. There's purpose, hallelujah, to see another day. Father knows tomorrow. Will you honor him? He knows your Tuesday right now. Will you honor him? He knows the head of this month. Will you honor him? He knows, hallelujah, the fasting that we bring forth, which is fruit worthy, I pray, of repentance. Will you honor him? Will you? It's not a must. It's just salvation.
Hallelujah.
If you desire to see the King, he will receive honor. Obedience is better than sacrifice. So, Father, today we honor you. In the third heaven, hallelujah, which is Son at your right hand, we say, praise be Almighty God. Thank you for shaping us in your image and your likeness. Giving us dominion, Father, and allowing us the will to choose. So, Father, today we choose life. We choose life for our children. We choose life for Heavenly Father, for the women of the house of eternity. Keep them, Father. We want to be with them at all times, Father, but you are with them at all times, Father. So we say thank you in advance for doing the part that we can't do. Thank you, Heavenly Father, from the least to the greatest. We pray for the peace of Jerusalem. We pray for the saints everywhere. We pray, oh Heavenly Father, for those without, those with less. On this chilly morning, Father, thank you for the sweatshirt that can be given, oh Heavenly Father, to one who is so cold. But Father, thank you. Thank you for the thoughts that spurn to say, Father, why not just have a few more wraps around, just in case, Father. We bless your name, Father. We just want to do right. Help us to keep on, Father, doing for the least of your people. Yes. We pray against our day of escape, that in our coming Shabbat or during our winter, that you'll find us worthy to escape all these things, Father. Oh, Father, hallelujah. Thank you for our percussionists, Father. Thank you for the prayer of faith today, oh Heavenly Father, from our dear sister. Thank you, Heavenly Father, for just continuing to move the flock in a direction that's pleasing in your eyesight. Father, we're a house that sits upon a hill. Continue to help us to not be hid. Let us be a light to shine for glory today and forever. Father, thank you for opening up our dear sister Dion today, oh Heavenly Father. Yeah. Be one with her, oh Heavenly Father. Hear her, oh Heavenly Father. Receive her, oh Heavenly Father. And thank you, oh Heavenly Father, for giving her the opportunity to cry out and cry aloud. Father, whatever you're doing, don't do it without us, Father, please. Father, bless those who need your healing hand right now who are not with us, oh Heavenly Father. Keep Sister Carol. Keep, oh Heavenly Father, Sister Pam, Sister Louise, oh Heavenly Father, and all those from front to back, oh Heavenly Father. Touch them. Keep Deanna's family, oh Heavenly Father. Keep Brother Mark and family, Brian and Sabrina. Keep Sister Tyler and family, Father. Yes. Father, from the least to the greatest, Father. You know the names missed, the names said, Brother Lloyd, Father, all of us, Father. Let us be one, as you and your Son are one. Bless the food we're about to receive, allow it to nourish us and keep us not be harmful to our health, Father. But Father, let your countenance shine down upon us. Keep your malachim, Father, your angels, oh Heavenly Father, dispatched to all of our stead. And just thank you for keeping this house of prayer, Heavenly Father, holy one more day. In the name of your darling Son, Yehoshua HaMashiach, Father. And say, hallelujah! 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 What I say unto one, I say unto all. Watch and pray. And you should know. Hallelujah! Hallelujah! Bless his name. Bless his name. Hallelujah. We say hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Face, Mom. Miss you, Sister Karen. Bye, 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 bye.
Bye again.
Jeva Rekeka Yave Veish Reka. Jeva Rekeka Yave Veish Reka. Yair Yave Panaveleka Vekuneka. Isa Yave Panaveleka Veyasim Leka Shalom. Shalom, Mom.